What a week, Reds. Good news, good news, good news. It's got better. Arsenal have dropped another 2 points. It does mean that Liverpool are now 3 wins away from title number 20, the second in 5 years. I'm going to keep on repeating that line because I keep hearing from bitter bitter fans from other teams who keep repeating the fact of, oh, it's two titles in 3 decades and all that rubbish. But second title in 5 years is just around the corner. It's getting closer. It could even be sealed next week. My name's Charlie. I'm joined by Dan. I'm joined by Mahmood. Mahmood is making his debut today, so we're going to put him under the grill. We're going to ask some questions. We're going to get some answers. We're going to find out what he's about. I'm glad that you joined us, Mahmood. Let's start off with you. How are you doing?
Well, thank you for this beautiful intro, Charlie. I really appreciate it. And thank you for having me on, you and Dan. It's really wonderful being here. From being just a follower on Twitter to actually joining here, it was actually beautiful. So thank you for that. I'm doing okay. And I'm excited to just, share my thoughts.
Join the
And
family. You've joined the family, man. That's what it's
man.
all about, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's just a page on social media. It's rather a family. It's nice to build a bond with people that share like the same ideas and thoughts as you. So I'm really happy about that.
That's it. And just before this, we actually went live. There's a bit, it's a bit silly, but we talk about it, the family kind of aspects. And you're Egyptian by heritage, by birthright, right? And there's a connection there with you, Dan, that you were talking about just before with your family. Your wife is Egyptian as well. So there's just, let's kind of bring it in. The love is here. Liverpool's a very, very happy place. This LFC transfer room is a very, very happy place. Dan, how are you doing this Saturday afternoon?
Oh, I mean, it's
Saturday morning. What time is it?
No, it's afternoon. It's afternoon.
No, it's afternoon now, isn't it?
It's 2. Yeah. I was. I mean, listen, you wake up to the news of Mo Salah extending his contract to 2 years. Obviously, we don't have the details. I think there were some rumors of it being 2+1, but at least now 2 years we know at the minimum. With Virgil's seeming announcement being pending as well, it's. The vibes are good. I hate saying that phrase sometimes, but you can't beat it. Everyone's being so terrified of Arsenal doing something, and then Arsenal being the most Arsenal that you can be, dropping points to Brentford at home after playing with 10 men, and then playing with 10 men after they subbed everyone, and Jorginho has to go off the pitch. It's just nice. West Ham at home at Anfield. Obviously I'll be watching on the telly. Won't be able to go to Liverpool, sadly, but listen. The 20th title, the fact that Sir Alex Ferguson has lived long enough to knock Liverpool off their perch and then watch them climb that perch back. I mean, that's like, I would say it's like Emperor Palpatine level where his spirit's going to haunt. He's going to haunt Old Trafford for the next 40 years until Manchester United do something again, which it might be 40 years before they do something again. Because that's just how United work historically. They have 30 years, then it's like you have Bubsby and Ferguson, and then 30 years of like trash other side of it. So long may it continue, and long may Liverpool's reign continue to rise with Arne Slot's Baldy Reds. Up the true Baldy Reds is what I say, not the fake Baldies over in
bold and bold, isn't it? Yeah.
Baldy, bold, and better than the Manchester City Baldy and Pep Guardiola, who's a fake Baldy, by the way. Yeah. And I think he also got divorced, so Slot's still married to his wife too. So
that's not what we. No. Let's rein that one in.
No. Listen. You have to find advantages somewhere. It's like Arna is true. Arna Slot is true. Pep's going on his divorced dad era. He's now on his divorced dad. Right. He's clawing his skull. He's getting mad at kids. He ran Kevin De Bruyne's hamstrings into the ground. The man
he's losing his best player, bro. So
I know.
But yeah, no, Mahmood, we haven't really caught up. Just to get your thoughts about the Mo Salah deal as well. I mean, you got any thoughts? Obviously, it's just positive. There's so many pros. I did a video with Stu yesterday. Essentially like a reaction video to Mo's extension, and it was just really really good news. There's loads of positives to everything. But what are your thoughts about it?
Man, I'm excited. What can I say? Like, Mo Salah's been here for what, almost a decade, man. Like,
Yeah,
what, 10 years, and then his impact is just not on the pitch, but also off the pitch, and it's really great just watching him continue as a Liverpool supporter, as even Egyptian national team, and seeing him happy, seeing him in top form at 33. Look where other players right now are 33, and he's just continuing to deliver, 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 and hopefully he can win another title and challenge for other titles next season and the season after. But I also feel like he deserved it, and then they kept delaying it. But that's logistics. We're not gonna get into that. But obviously, I'm so happy, because they can also build the team more. Like with what's happening in the summer, that's gonna be
yeah.
so exciting.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's so many positives, isn't there? So we instead of trying to find a right winger that could potentially try to give the same options as what Mo does, or you disperse the goals that he gives and the assists around and try to. That's just a difficult question to answer. So again, lots of positives to having that. But Dan, I don't know, you're going to jump in. Sorry, mate.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say I think the impact. I hate the word impact, but the effect of Mohamed Salah on Liverpool just transcends both the football pitch. I mean, obviously he's been the best, probably the best, if not the second or third best player in the Premier League the past 10 years. If it wasn't him, it was Holland. If it wasn't him, it was maybe Mane for a couple months. If it wasn't him, it's Van Dijk, or if it's not him, it's De Bruyne. Like Salah's been a world class elite player for 10 years, and we get two more. We're sorry, it would be 10 years when his contract ends,
Yeah.
but
Testimony.
it's 8
Gonna get a
years. 8 years.
testimonial.
Exactly. And so for 8 years of just continuing performance and just to kind of stretch beyond, I think that, it shouldn't be understated like how much of an effect Mohamed Salah has had on the just wider perception of Muslims and Egyptians, I would say, around the world,
100%.
just like
I
as
agree.
like, and listen, that's not his responsibility. And obviously, you can look around the world and see how much things have not gotten better for a lot of people. However, I think that because Mo Salah is so welcomed by Liverpool, he mentioning his daughter, like Mecca, was so excited about staying, and she was probably the most excited. She's pretty much grown up in
Yeah.
Liverpool and Merseyside. She's gone through her entire childhood, and by the time they leave after 10 years, I think she'll be early teenager, most like so her entire formative years just about have been in Liverpool and Merseyside and through that evolution as well. So, and I think that that's something that you know we kind of take for advantage as fans, is that we forget that one, it's a workplace, and two, Liverpool mostly sign decent people, considering like other teams having players with certain backgrounds and histories. Like the fact that Liverpool do have such, I hate to say the family values thing because it's something that gets talked about a lot in American sports, but people with very strong, ties to like their partners, their families, very very good eggs, so to speak. Not there's not a lot of bad eggs in the that Liverpool dressing room. Actually, I can't really name one in recent years,
Yeah,
Charlie.
I'm just thinking. I was just thinking, and I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, but the one that kind of sticks out who doesn't kind of seem to be that is potentially Trent.
Yeah, yeah,
A
recently,
young,
yeah.
a very young man, maybe mentally in terms of relationships and whatnot. But that's
Joe's is 2 years younger, and he's already a dad. He's already a
yeah,
father.
yeah.
I think he's also married to. I don't know if he's married or engaged to his girlfriend or partner yet,
I'm
or
pretty sure the wedding. I know Matty from our channel. Is kind of related to him, but yeah, I think the wedding is soon. I
yeah,
think
Yo,
I'm
where's
not too
our
sure.
invite? Yo, where's our invite?
yeah. I know. Where's our invite?
Oh,
Like, why
sorry,
can't?
lads. Oh, sorry.
That's
I'm
crazy.
sorry. No, it's
I
okay.
didn't know
It's
you were
okay. I understand. I understand. It's
Yeah.
like we're not prim and posh enough to crash this party and get away with it. But
But
yeah, I mean, like even Dominic Soboslai, as much as people like have their issues with Soboslai as a player, like I think he just got engaged to like his new
yeah,
girlfriend or like his new partner or whatever. So again, like people are willing to stay, and Trent is like, I think you're right, like the odd man out. It seems like right now, where he has no real ties to Liverpool, like familial, children, schools.
yeah.
It's like if it's like he's 26 and he's 26, but he's living his life like he's 21, so to speak. Like, it's like, all right, I'm going to Madrid for a couple of years. I'm going to Madrid for like an exchange program for 3 years. Let's have fun.
To get himself a nice Latino woman. I think that was the quote I heard. But this really wasn't the type of conversation I thought we were going to go into. I thought we were going to be talking about West Ham. Let's bring it back to
This
what
is more
we're
interesting.
here for.
No, this is more interesting than West Ham.
Yeah, wow. Let's see. The crux of the matter is, with Arsenal dropping more points today, they drew 1-1 against a good Brentford side. They are a very good team, but it's at home. What that actually means for Liverpool, who were 4 points, four wins away from winning the league. Actually, what it means is 3 wins now would secure the title. What may also happen is there's an opportunity if Arsenal were to lose next week and Liverpool win. I believe that the title could be clinched next week. That's how close we are, Reds. It's so close. Now that obviously depends on beating West Ham, and that's what we're going to be talking about. In terms of recent histories, there, Mahmood, when we have played West Ham, we tend to get the best of it, and that was when they had a David Moyes as a manager who had a terrible record against Liverpool. Certainly away from home, coming to Anfield. You got to believe that we as a team should be able to kind of see this game through, despite the recent troubles that we've had. Last week's performance against Fulham was an absolute disaster in that first half. But do you think we can just come back from last week, having had a full week to recover?
Bismillah, let me tell you something, brother. This season, we defeated them in the EFL Cup 5-1. We defeated them on December 5-0. Come on, man. They're West Ham. Yes, yeah. I do have respect to Graham Potter, but still, we're going to lock down Ollie Scarles. Mo Salah is going to dribble, score. Van Dijk, he got his new contract. He's got his money up. Konate up there. It's going to be good. Kelleher has been solid. Sure.
But Alisson's back as well, isn't he? Actually, that's a really good point. Alisson is back. That's a massive win that's for the team.
Yeah, Jones are right back. I don't know. Like it's a bit of a meh for me. Joe Gomez has not been bad, but like right now Bradley and Trent are injured. So or Quansah, I know like Arne Slot doesn't like Quansah for some reason or doesn't rate him that much. But to be honest, Jones at the right back wasn't really doing it that for me. I know I'm judging him based on one game, but like still you don't want to take any risks. You don't want to slip. Like we have a couple matches left. Arsenal already slipping. So, like, why not take advantage of that? And then, boom, 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 bam, just finish the game. These are the problem is the easy games are the ones we're losing. So, which sucks. Or, like, tying. Not with no disrespect or underestimating any other teams, but still, like, we're supposed to have the upper advantage and we're supposed to, like, seal it, like, 3-1, 3-0 tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah. No, that's good. I think... Dan, I'll come to you. So, this from yesterday's presser, Arne did say that Alisson's back from his concussion. So that's a massive positive. But also that Conor Bradley is also back as well. So he should kind of fit back in. He actually played the last few minutes, didn't he? And made a really big difference in terms of style of play. Emphasis that we're trying to bring as a team against Fulham. So that was a good positive for him. So he looks like he's ready to start a match. How important is it that we get those two players back into the starting 11 against a West Ham, regardless of where they are in the league, still needs to be a team that we beat?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think Alisson's always a big miss. I think we have discussions over Caoimhin Kelleher. I think Caoimhin Kelleher is a very good goalkeeper. I actually think he's very underrated. I think when I went back and watched the Fulham game, it was mostly more dumb mistakes that cost us more than Fulham outplaying
Andy
us.
Robertson, I'm looking at you.
Robertson. I mean, Jones, it hits off his thigh. Like the crossover pass from Robertson. But even before then, like, it's like they actually stop Iwobi, and then it hits off, and then Iwobi hits it. It hits Robertson, goes in. There's just a calamity of errors that happens that you just don't really see. Even Robertson like has been pretty error free. I would say for a couple of months. Like, yeah, he's had some hits and misses, and obviously he's one of the veteran players we've had that has gotten that is definitely not getting better. I would say people have argued that he's actually like being detrimental to our style of play. I wouldn't go that far, but I do think that what Robbo brought to that Klopp side in terms of an offensive capability, the assists, the width of the crossing, is just not being as useful for this side. But his energy is still important. Jones at right back, I think, worked for Everton and how they approached the game. With Fulham, though, Fulham were just such a well-coached side. They're such a side that has exactly what you need to counter this Liverpool side, which is pace and size. Like, that's the way you beat this Liverpool team. Now, West Ham have some pace and size in the sense of Bowen's pacey and strong. Kudus is pacey, but they don't really have it in the same way that Fulham does. And Potter's style of play is not Marco Silva. Marco Silva is very someone who can play it. They play very 4-2-3-1, very direct, very much can be tidy, neat and tidy with the CMs, Sanderberg, and before then Paulinho. But they're such a dangerous side to play against. I mean, Arsenal don't have a good record against them. Fulham are a team that can beat anybody on their day. If they could still end up getting European football, which is still crazy to say about. So yeah, obviously I don't know if Bradley's ready to start. That's a game time decision. I imagine if he can play 60, Slot's going to give him 60, and then bring on a Jero Kwanzaa or possibly Jones if he's not starting for right back, which I think is perfectly fine against his West Ham side, because by that point we're probably 3-0 or 3-1 up or whatever scoreline you're at. As long as we're ahead of the game and in control, I think that's a perfectly fine thing to do from now to the end of the season. Because like you said, Charlie, 3 wins, that's all we need. By hook, by crook. It doesn't matter how we get them. If we get 3 wins, like that we clinch the title, and Arteta has to give us a guard of honor, even though he said he would die before he conceded the title. He did say that, by the way, but he's still alive. So I'm sensing that Arteta did not mean what he said when he said that.
He's alive only to lose with the comeback by Real Madrid next week.
Inshallah. But actually, no, I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want Real Madrid Black Magic exactly. Again. I like they're already like what was it? Freddie Valverde already had cuts on his shin. They're already doing blood sacrifices over at Madrid. They're summoning the ghost of Francisco Franco to summon another European Cup for that club. So Florentino Perez can still be the president, and even when he dies, his ghost will still be president.
But yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting one come next week when Arsenal are going to be playing at the new Bernabeu, or whatever you call it these days. If somehow they get an early goal, Real Madrid, you never know. You just never know. It just takes me back to what we did against Barcelona. We got that early goal, and then that kind of set the tone for the rest of the match. And it just takes a couple of minutes of mad football, and Madrid are back in the game. But we just saw today they're not the most attacking forces. Yes, they got 3 goals against Real Madrid. 2 of those are really, really, really good free kicks. But I just can't see. I don't think I'll ever see Declan Rice hit the ball as good as the 2 free kicks that he had against Real Madrid for the rest of his days.
There's only one other person I've seen score free kicks like that on regular, and his name was Steven Gerrard, and he does not play anymore. Like Declan Rice is not doing that another day in his life. Like those, but that was the closest Gerrard free kick I've seen in my life.
Yeah, just stunning free kicks. There's questions. I have questions about the wall.
The second free kick was hard, man. The second free kick was hard.
But this isn't. I just wonder what Courtois was doing in the middle of the goal when he should be protecting his side of the goal. But that's for another team to think about. We're here just to talk about Liverpool. So, let's kind of think about the team that we want to see tomorrow. So I'm pretty sure we all agree if Alisson's fit, he will be playing as right back again. If Arne Slot has said that Bradley's ready, he's going to come in as well, which makes it a lot more offensively and defensively a bit more sound. I know Jones is a very good player on his day, but he's not a right back. Kwanzaa isn't a right back. We just need to do, WC totally agree. We just need to do our job tomorrow, and that's what we need from our central defenders. Because again, Virgil hasn't really looked on it the last few days, few games, and so is Kanate. You know, do you guys have a bit of worry? Mahmoud, do you have any worries about Virgil and his performances the last few games, or Kanate the last kind of couple of games as well? He doesn't seem to be on it as well as he was at the start of the season.
To be honest, no, I'm not worried. I have full trust in this team, regardless of what happens. You know that they put 100% effort in. Sometimes we see some slip ups. Yes, it could happen. Hopefully, not a general slip up though. But I think they're gonna do their job well. Tomorrow they're gonna recover. Their morale should be really high, considering the fact that Van Dijk signed his new contract, Mo Salah signed his new contract, Konate is negotiating. Considering these are factors that were affecting them mentally, whatever. And then Grafenberg, you know what, is gonna just slot back in, help them. So I think they're gonna just do that recovery. They have the trophy ahead of them. They just have to go to the finish line. Three more steps, they get to the finish line, and they're done. They just have to have their heads up. That's all. And I feel like in order to, I mean, yeah, we do have 3 games left, but I don't want Allison to sustain another injury or maybe not recover well or something like that. That's why I like playing it safe a bit and having Kelleher in my perspective would be like better instead of, and then maybe like starting Allison the last 2 games, whatever. But I do understand that that of course you want your best keeper there. You want the great Allison, the one that saved that Napoli almost goal that got us that Champions League through. So yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think if he's fit and ready, will be playing. But Dan, you don't seem to have you're very much a positive influence on our group, a very much glass half full type individual. So you don't have any qualms or any issues in regards to Virgil and his performances the last kind of few games. He does seem to be quite easily handled by certain strikers, but tomorrow we shouldn't see that, right?
No, I mean, listen. I think Verge has. I think both Verge and Ibrahim Konate had a tough game the past couple of games, playing against Beto and Muniz, and I think that's because both Beto and Muniz decided to charge right into them and rough them up and kind of gamble. I think Verge did a pretty good job against Beto, though. Granted, like he had that mistake where Beto had that chance where he hit the post. I think sides have decided that going against Konate seems like to be a losing battle. So rather than do that, try to hit Verge and Robinson. And this is what we saw 5 years ago when we played against Watford. That Watford 3-0 is that what they did is that instead of going after Lovren and Trent side, which is what teams have been doing for the past 2-3 years, they started going to Virgil and Robbo side and then playing a switch. So they would attack that side and run off the other side, which is something that sides have been doing off and on for the past 4 or 5 years. I I don't see Graham Potter doing that. I think Graham Potter is West Ham are safe. He's right now just instilling his values. He's bringing in through some young players. He's been playing a pretty mixed side of like Wood Prowse, Suchek, Alvarez, Kudes, Bowen, and Paqueta. So he's been playing a pretty fluid, not really playing a target man. Fulkrug has been on the bench, and listen, Fulkrug could go up and give anybody a tough time, but I highly doubt that he'll like play off Van Dijk and Konate. But Van Dijk and Konate have these games every now and then. There's always a Van Dijk game where like he makes 2 or 3 errors. Last year we had Allison and Van Dijk game, I think, at Arsenal away in the league. And if they don't do that, do we draw or win that game and is the title slightly different? Maybe we get a couple more points. You never know. But yeah, I'm not really too worried about that. I know someone's mentioned here about the Dominic Soboslai's performance as well. Listen, I think that people are forgetting. I think there's this idea that the Liverpool side we're playing, the side we've been playing, these are people playing their most minutes they've ever played in their league. Like, Gravenberch has started every game. Soboslai's pretty much started every game this year. Van Dijk, Konate, Allison. Slot's been very much someone who said, Like, all right, you're my core 4 or 5. You're going to go out there and play every game. Salah, like every single game. And listen, people will criticize, I think, Slot this year, rightfully or wrongly, because we went out and get the PSG. We lost to Newcastle in the Capital One Cup. I keep calling it the Capital One Cup. It wasn't Capital One for like 10 years.
Yeah.
The League Cup, the Carabao Cup, and the fact that we went out to Plymouth Argyle in the FA Cup, that he hasn't really rotated, freshened up. I think that's perfectly fine criticism, but I want to challenge his point of view. Are you disappointed because you wanted to win a quadruple, or are you disappointed because you wanted to win a league and Champions League double? Because, there's different scales of disappointment. If we win the league title, I'm always happy. I don't care what else we did. If we win a League Cup and don't win anything else, I'm slightly disappointed. Capital One. Listen, Abdul, it was the Capital One Cup like 10 years ago is what I'm saying. The Milk Cup, yeah. True fans remember the Milk Cup and the Coca-Cola Cup.
Yeah, that's it, man. It's a League Cup, isn't it? That's
listen,
how
I
I
can't
always
help
call
that
it.
Carabao. I can't help that Carabao and Capital One both start with like CA, and it gets stuck in my head.
I've never seen anyone drink Carabao in this country, in the UK. I've never seen it in the shops. I've never seen anyone drink it. So
a Dodger sponsorship from the Southeast Asia, Charlie. Like never happened before. Dodgy sponsorships from the Southeast Asia side of the world. I'd never seen it before in my life. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. All make believe. It does make a difference. But yeah, totally agree. Start of the season, if you were to ask me what we should be looking to try to secure, some people would have said top 4 and a cup, and that would have been it. And we can build on from there. But the world that we live in and what the results that we have right now, it means we're in it for a league. And I'm absolutely delighted. That's more than I could ever ask for. Anything else is just a bonus. So the league is always going to be bread and butter for me.
And just so you know, Charlie, you know who else won the league? I think won the league title the first year, but also lost like a final, knocked out the 4th round cup, and crashed out of the European Cup. Bob Paisley. So if Slot's legacy is being a bolder, Dutcher version of a Mackham from the Northeast and Bob Paisley, exactly. I think that's a good career. I think that's a good. I think we're good time.
That's man.
It's only been five managers that won it on their first. 4 managers that won it on their first season, and Slot is gonna join the elite. 3 of them are Italians. Come on, man! We're gonna have our Dutch boy there.
Come on, then, people. Right? Let's ask the questions in the chat. Can you name those 3? Well, the 4 managers.
I was gonna say I'm gonna double check and look that up as we go as well. But yeah, so Charlie, since now Mo Salah's renewed his contract, who are you bringing in for the? Who do you think now in the summer do we think we should target? Since Kudus, we're gonna be playing against Kudus tomorrow.
Oh.
And he's been bad. He's been bad this season.
Yeah. So okay.
No, not Gjorkas. Don't bring in the Swedish guy. Don't bring Swedish.
No. I'm not. So me and Dan. Other Dan, we've done a couple of episodes, a bit of a podcast, and that needs to come out soon, where we spoke about who we would like to come in. I'm very, very much on the Ekateki, if that's how you say it, train. I think he's a fabulous player. I don't think we'll gain Isak. I think Isak is far, far too much money. However, if Liverpool want to pull the trigger, and if we can make it happen, then great. Let's do it. But there's just so many other aspects, elements of the team that we need to look at. Left back, we need to get another central defender for me. Wouldn't also mean potentially right back if Trent is not signing. I would like to see more depth at central midfield. So who that kind of leaves out. Can we sell someone? Elliot, I'm not saying Jones should go, but there's other things that we need to be doing.
I hate this idea so much. And for the chat, does anybody know they got Conte and Jose Mourinho? There's 2 more they're leaving out.
Yo, Rafa, are you searching this on the internet, bro?
What's this? So Conte, we've had a Conte. Ancelotti definitely did it, I'm sure.
Ancelotti, Mourinho, and then who's the last one?
Pellegrini.
It was Manuel Pellegrini.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 that have won in their first year in the Premier League era, not the league era, but like the Premier League era.
Yeah. There you go, guys. There you go. Nice little. I'm not going to say there's a prize for any of this, but just a little clap
The
for
prize is
anyone who got
Your
knowledge.
that.
prize is a like. Here you go.
Enlightenment, it's
Yeah.
knowledge. That's which is
Well, thank you,
the greatest
Mahmood.
prize of all.
That's it. Exactly. Thank you. That's really good. I like that. This is the type of content that we want to be bringing. So it's great.
Who scares you the most tomorrow from West Ham? Charlie.
Kudos. I know he hasn't had the
Really?
best of seasons, but I think he could be up for it. He could be well up for kind of causing some damage. But what do you think, Mahmood?
Paqueta. Low-key.
Actually, I haven't. There's all kinds of rumors going on with that guy and whether he's playing and what's actually going on with him and his court case or whatever you want to call it these days.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's still playing. He has been playing. But I mean, again, like I feel like West Ham feel like a nebulous side where, 2 years ago Kudus would have scared me. Bowen's dangerous. He is their most dangerous player, and if I expected my score, it would be Jared Bowen. But Paqueta and Kudus are kind of players that have had their hot streaks. They weren't bought, and so they've kind of petered out a bit. It's like Felipe Anderson a couple years ago when they brought him in, and everyone's like, we need to buy Felipe Anderson from when West Ham got him from Lazio. So yeah, Bowen for me is the one that I think I'd be worried about. I'm not really worried about Kudus because I don't listen. I could be wrong, and Kudus could just go blow off. But they have Cyrino Somerville. Who is
Crescencio.
Crescencio Somerville. Yeah, the Dutch English guy from Leeds. But like West Ham just can't put it together. Like Kudus is just not really developed as a player. I think partly it's the side and teams he's been in. So the only player that's remained consistently dangerous is Jared Bowen. And Bowen's probably the closest player in the Premier League to playing like Salah. And I would have gotten Bowen like 4 or 5 years ago, when they first got him from Hull City. But time moves in one direction, sadly.
Hopefully, Oli Scarlett doesn't lock down Salah. That's it. I know he's young still, but like hopefully, yeah.
I mean, like even if like Salah, I think Salah has been the one that's been the most like disappointing recently. But I think that's because of like Trent's been out. We really haven't had an attacking right side. Yeah. I think with Bradley back, with Bradley, Dom, and Mo on that side, I think it'll be much more productive. Now, if they start Jones, if Slot decides to go Jones right back, same front four same midfield three from Fulham. Like, I imagine we're going to see pretty similar lack of attacking output on the first 30 to 45 minutes. But, if Bradley is back and we have that dynamism, that ability to stretch the field a bit more, I think we'll be fine. Especially if Gakpo starts and gets an early goal again, because we really missed having a goal threat on the left side. Yeah. No shade to Luis Diaz. No shade to Luis Diaz or Gakpo in general. It's just we haven't really had a lot of attacking production from that left side outside of really that Everton game. That was like
Low-key, I want to see Chiesa up top, man.
It's never happening.
It's never happening, man.
It's next year is Chiesa's year. They've been pretty much using Chiesa as a this year's been like Chiesa's been like a training season. I'm guessing for the most part. Well, because like he's there
for 8 months, man.
Okay. So listen, I want to see us play Federico Chiesa too, but if you look at how many players Slot has used historically, he's always used small squads. I think that, whoever goes in the summer, like Diaz or Jota, Nunez or whoever they bring in, Ikitike, we're not buying a sixth choice forward, the Federico Chiesa jersey. We're not buying a sixth choice forward anymore. So they're going to, I imagine there's going to be some consolidation both in the forward line, the midfield, and the defense, where we'll have probably like 8 defenders, 6 to 7 midfielders, and about 5 attackers. So I imagine that, if Diaz goes, if Jota goes, they buy one player and that's it, and that's who's taking their minutes. Or if Darwin goes and Jota goes, like it's not going to be like 1 for 1. It's going to be consolidation.
This reminds me of FIFA, like career mode, bro. I just play career mode just for the transfers, so I can just bring and sell whoever I want, man.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, but
FIFA career mode has ruined everyone's perspective of squad building.
I think a lot of that has happened. But coming back to tomorrow's game, actually, some really good points. Who do you play up front? I know you basically are going to be saying that Salah's going to be playing, but who's the next two? What are the next two positions? Do you stick with Jota? Is Nunes? Is it his time to try to come in and ruffle some feathers there, or I know there's a lot of love for Nunes and try to see some light with him. But then also on the left hand side, do you persevere with Diaz or is Gakpo with the form he's had since the Euro 2024, whenever it was, that last international competition where he was top scorer. He's been dynamite all season for me. Really, really justified that left wing. So, what do you guys think, Mahmoud?
Oh, well, my attacking formations, I would say Salah on the right for sure. Up top, Diogo Jota, but he comes off like at the 50th minute, hopefully, when we're up. So Darwin Nunez, what has been doing? Okay, he hasn't been scoring, but he's been defending, going back with his stamina and pushing and aggression. So we would need that in defense. That's later, and then like man, I wish Gakpo plays. That's what I want. I want
Mhm.
Gakpo to just curl it, man, just like he did in the cup. That's what I wish for. But then we have Diaz, obviously like our best option for now, and then Soboslai. That's
Mhm.
that's that's
Yeah,
the idea. But Harvey Elliott has been playing really good. But like you don't want to really risk any unknowns in the up top formation because when he usually plays Elliott, he plays him in the last 10 minutes, whatever. All right,
yeah.
Elliott like has the freedom to low key do a lot of things. But like if you want to start it from the beginning, we haven't seen that a lot. So going with the safe option would be like the go to right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no,
I agree. I agree with Mahmoud. I think I figured out why Slot hasn't been playing Elliot a lot, and that's because that right side he allows he one player has to have pace. So if it's Salah, Dom, and Trent, of those three, Dom's the only one that really has pace to go back and forth in the cover, and he does most running. If Mo Salah's out and Trent's out, and you have Bradley in, then you can play Harvey because Harvey's not going to have a lot of pace, so you can still cover that right side. If it's Trent and Dom, then he can put Harvey there too, which is what we saw against Brentford. But Slot,
to
if you look at
add
how Slot, okay, go ahead.
no, no, I was going to say
Go
to
ahead.
add another layer, like Inception level layers on this. I believe that the reason why Soboslai is preferred a lot is because of the lack of pace that Jota doesn't, that he doesn't
Oh, I
give us. He
agree.
doesn't, and because of that, essentially, he needs that runner behind to cover for the lack of athleticism that Jota doesn't give us.
I agree.
Uh,
I think yeah, I completely agree, Charlie. I know you want to finish. I know you want to finish your thought.
no, no,
But
no.
yeah,
You,
no, I
you,
completely
you
agree.
go, you go.
I completely agree. I think Jota. I think Jota's always been. I think Jota's always been that kind of awkward second striker, center forward role. He presses very well. I think he's okay on the ball, running at goal. Like what Jota's good at is running forward at the goal, like very direct play. That's why he works so well for Jurgen Klopp. Him playing back to goal, spinning and turning is not really his thing. He's very good around the box. He's very good at getting those finishes, as we saw against Everton as a number 10 impact sub. He's tried to use him there as a number 10 impact sub, and I don't think it really works that well because, if you think Dominic Soboslai is not the best like 10 in terms of playing back to goal, spinning and being creative, then Jota's not going to give you that as well. I think this is when the Darwin question comes up, where I think Nunez has done those things occasionally, but never in the same game, is the
Yeah,
one here where he can play back to goal very well, but then he's not getting it behind, and then, why you're not getting behind Darwin, you're faster than them, or he's getting it behind all the time, but you're
and it's
you're not getting it
offside.
back to goal. Yeah, or it's offside, or they're not
He
playing the
doesn't
ball
read
over
the
the top.
game. Yeah, like the
I,
way
I
I've described Nunes is, he's a player that wants to score but doesn't know how to. And the reason why I say that is he's very very eager. He wants to do the best. He wants to get those goals. But unfortunately, when it comes to playing, it's such a different thing because he doesn't read the game as well as he should do for someone of his age and his caliber and having been at the club for so long.
well, I take your point. I wouldn't where I agree and where I diverge a bit is that I think with Darwin, it's more that I agree that he really tries to overscore and does too much at times and doesn't do it well. I think part of that is the fact that when we bought Darwin in, it was for a very specific type of play with Klopp, where we were more direct and it kind of fitted his style. But then we tried to turn him into a pressing center forward like Bobby. And then last year, I thought he did very good until he got injured at Brentford. Like you saw, I think what Darwin could have been at Liverpool hypothetically from that December period to the Brentford injury where he chips and he gets injured and Salah gets injured. And I think you saw very quickly how he could work. With Slot, he kind of wants you to be able to do everything, similar to how Klopp is, but the team is now not designed to get the best out of Nunez. And Slot has admitted this, and he's even said, and I don't think he's saying this to cover for Darwin. I think he's being like, listen, I'm taking someone who was putting up Erling Haaland numbers. You could argue that Haaland's a better striker, and I think that's perfectly fine, and I agree. That is, you're asking him to play more of an all-action role than what Haaland does. Like Pep changed, modified City to get the best out of Haaland, where they were doing all the running for him, and they would just cross and give him as many goals up as possible. But now, with the way Liverpool play, like our center forwards getting a lot of touches, but we're not generating enough goals through the middle. We're generally not. If you look at
You're right.
what Jota and Nunez are, their goal calibers are pretty much what they're expected to score. Like I agree that like Darwin has missed like opportunities that don't become XG because he doesn't get them on target or he misses them. But even still, like you're talking about a handful of goals, like 2 or 3, and even still, if you add those in, you would still say it's not enough. It'd be like 8 goals or 9 goals. And so that's why like Ekiteke is someone they're looking at, or insert center forward here. I like Benjamin Sesko mostly because he essentially plays in that sort of pressing style like a Jota. Though I would say he's probably more like Jota than he is like a Ekiteke. He's more like a Jota in the sense of being that second man presser, get
Yeah.
you goals, but isn't like you're not going to play through him, so to speak.
He Ekiteke, he led the line against Tottenham really well the other night. If anyone did get a chance to look at that, and
And I
if
think,
you want evidence, go on.
and
Sorry.
the Darwin Nunes. No. Like this is, I hate this point of argument because it's just not true. They're completely different players. Because Sesko is very much not the primary goal scorer. They play very differently. But I do understand what they say in the sense of someone you're overpaying for and not till you get and you're not getting the goal contributions you want as well.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, Charlie, I think he should start Darwin more just because we don't have a lot of pace. So if you're playing Gakpo and Jota, there's no pace. If you play Jota and Diaz at least stretches the field a bit more. And even though he's not as pacey as I think people think he is, he's never really been that pacey to begin with, but you're not getting that stretch. So if you're playing Gakpo, you should play Darwin just so you get some sort of pace through the middle to stretch West Ham out. But again, we played DS through the middle against West Ham when they had Lopetegui and we tore them apart. So
Yeah.
Any sort of lineup we go with, I think will be too much for them.
Yeah, exactly. I think it should be a positive game. Anfield should be really, really good there, Mahmood, shouldn't it? And it takes me back to a few years ago when Salah announced that he was going to be staying at the club, and we played Chelsea very, very shortly after that, and it was an absolute amazing game. It's that game, if people don't remember, it's the game where Salah had a ball received from Virgil, cut in, and an absolute rocket from his left foot into the top corner in the cup, and it just went mayhem, absolute bedlam at Anfield. But we don't want to spend too much time talking about this, but what Mahmood, I always kind of am reluctant to try to get score predictions, but you're pretty confident Liverpool will win. You pretty confident that it's going to be a big score.
You know what? Inshallah, it's gonna be 3-1. Hopefully we don't consider that concede that one, but 3-0, 3-1. At best, hopefully we're gonna win this game. We're gonna have our morale up. 2 games away from winning the league title. Things are just hopefully going really well. Gonna get the big bucks, sell people in the summer, get transfer strength in our squad, have backups, and challenge for the quadruple, guys. This is Arne Slot's first season. Yes, if you told me we would win the league this season with Arne Slot in his first season, I'll tell you, are you dumb? Are you playing with me? No. But now I'm more of a believer too. Okay, we have Mr. Consistent on the right. We have Van Dijk, Trent. All right, he wants to leave. He wants to leave. We'll bring Frimpong, bro. It doesn't matter. We're gonna have a new striker. Hopefully, a left wing. I don't know. We'll see what
Mhm.
Fabrizio Romano says, and then we're gonna just strengthen our squad, man. We're gonna actually challenge for the quadruple. But right now, let's focus on the goal. Win the next 3 games. Don't slip, please. Salah, if you're watching this, anyone watching
Mhm.
this, don't slip. All right, that's it. That's what I want to. So, all in all, 3-1 is what I'm predicting.
And Dan?
Yeah, I think I'm also gonna go with 3-1. That seems to be like our consistent. Like we always score goals against West Ham, so I imagine we'll keep scoring goals. And West Ham have historically at least gotten one with us, so one or two. So I would say 3-1's a pretty solid score line. Honestly, like I said, I don't care how we win these next 3 games. I don't care if we win them all at like last minute scorpion kicks from Allison or bicycle kicks from Ibrahima Kanate. I generally don't care how we win these games as long as we get the next 3 wins or however wins we need to clinch the title. That's all that matters at this stage of the season. That's all that matters. Performance doesn't matter. Just win. Just that's all that
Yeah.
matters. Performance is overrated at this point. Points are all that matter. Performances mattered like 6 weeks ago. Now
Yeah.
it's just we're at the business end of the season. Just win, and just win, announce the contracts, and then we just all get to enjoy the summer of just hypothesizing of which players Liverpool will sign.
Yeah. Yeah. And just give me 3 1-0s. Really jammy. I'm not
Yeah,
bothered. Just give me that, and I'll happily take that all day. Just
last
all
minute
we all I
pins. Last
yeah.
minute pins. PGMLO giving us being the 12th man that we needed.
Don't want to start with that theory, that tin pot theory that Arsenal fans are going to be coming out with as well. But yeah, so just want to say thank you, Mahmood. Thank you. That was a really, really good debut as well with us. Dan, as always, absolutely brilliant words that you come back. People in the chat's been really, really active today. Some really, really good comments. Abdul Rahim, very, very good to have you on board. Some really, really good comments from yourself. We will be hopefully back tomorrow with a post-match reaction. So we'll do that. Just want to say thank you. Hit those likes, hit those subscribes. Come back tomorrow. Drop in your comments about who you'd like to see play tomorrow. What your score predictions are, and then we can then convene and discuss tomorrow after the game and see where we are. And hopefully, it's just a week away from the league championship, people. That's all that matters. Just the league championship. That's all we care about. We don't care about any other team. We don't care about any other competition, because the bread and butter is always going to be this league title. Okay. So we will see you tomorrow. Have a good evening all, and yeah, up the Reds.
Thank you. Subscribe, like.